Travel Draw's here, time to let it flow. We'll sketch and laugh, won't you come along? With every stroke we'll sing our song. Travel Draw, let your imagination soar. Travel Draw, bring art to every door. No need to be perfect, just have some fun. Travel Draw for everyone. From silly doodles to masterpieces bright, we'll make something special day and night. Colors explode with each new design. In Travel Draw, it's always fine. Travel Draw, let your imagination soar. Travel Draw, bring art to every door. No need to be perfect, just have some fun. Travel Draw for everyone.
And we are live. Welcome everybody joining in tonight. We went from a very, very dark subject last week where we talked about the trans issues to now we're going to be talking about Pokemon and their serious problems. Actually, this was for last week. Last time we kind of had health issues, and that's what caused us delays, including last night, which was unintentional delays. But we are rescheduling what was scheduled for last night for Thursday night. I can't schedule it for tomorrow night because I already have commitments. But we will be doing some more of the Let's Play of Final Fantasy Rebirth on Thursday. So I want to get that out of the way of the schedule before we get into the art of the night and the discussion. So let me put where I come from as a fan of Pokemon, as someone who's been playing the game since it came out. I had Pokemon Blue with me as I started college. A lot of people are like, you mean like the remake? No, the original. I had my old Game Boy. I bought batteries out the wazoo when I was in college just to keep those batteries going and keep playing Pokemon. And that's when it was fun. And now, well, last week while I was sick, I picked up Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for the first time. And I was hoping maybe in 2 years, the Game Freak may have fixed some of their issues. Here's the problem. When you are playing the game and characters aren't loading well after you're already on top of them and just talking with them, that's a serious problem, Pokemon. You really need to, Game Freak, you really need to be fixing these problems. And while A and Z comes out and it looks okay, I literally I'm not going to poo-poo it completely because one, it's a Pokemon game. It's not going to look like some advanced, massive gameplay, but whatnot. But now we have a reference to go against. It's like, come on, Pal World could do it. And what makes me more upset is Nintendo and Game Freak are treating Pokemon as if it's like a game from 3 generations back every time they process it. And the graphics are so horrendous and not processing. And it's like you're putting way too much into the game to make it lag down. But at the same time, you're removing the stuff that people actually want, which is the actual Pokemon. Okay? Let's bring back to the point. I miss the days where I could have my entire Pokemon collection in a game. I could actually have an almost full Pokemon roster. Because I've been playing since Generation 1. It's absurd that I still have Pokemon I cannot play on the Nintendo Switch. There's still Pokemon sitting in my home box that I cannot put into play in a game. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd, especially with us paying monthly fees to have our Pokemon. Nintendo really and I'm not just gonna let it be only Game Freak, because Nintendo's at fault here too, because Nintendo promotes this crap and pushes the creations well beyond. And honestly, there's some serious issues. We're gonna look at what people say is the good things, and look at the things that people are saying are the bad things today as we get into our discussion. Throughout the thing, we're going to be doing a bit of drawing for Demon Blade, also for Witchin. We are trying to complete both chapters on both the series. So, I mean, I'm trying to, get the actual color scheme here for the characters here. But when you talk about Pokemon games, story was great. I have to say the story probably started dropping off on Sun and Moon. I will say in X and Y a little bit, but it kind of made sense a little bit. But Sun and Moon is really where it started to drop. And coincidentally, and it's also the same time, we started getting hand-holding in the damn game to the point where it's annoying. I mean, yes, I understand that kids will still play this property, and they need to learn how to play. But you don't need to be guiding them the entire session through. Here's a thing that's connected to in my playthrough of Scarlet and Violet. Why the hell do we have to attend the school? Why? Why can't we change the uniforms at that? The uniforms are butt ugly. The entire design of the main character, is just horrible. Both boy or girl, doesn't matter what you do to change the faces. It's the outfits. It really is. Whoever designed the school uniforms for Scarlet and Violet, they need their ass to go into fashion school for a bit to get a proper education on what is fashionable and what looks good. It is just horrible. It really is. And the fact that you cannot change that. Everything else you can change to your character. For crying out loud, you can have great detail in the hat or the socks or the shoes that you wear or the backpack and glasses and all that. You can't touch the damn uniform. The uniform looks butt ugly. It looks butt ugly throughout the whole game and is freaking upsetting. And that's the problem with a lot of it. I will give Scarlet and Violet credit. It made, while some people don't like it, it did make the Pokemon look a little bit different. It gave them some texture, gave them some unique look to themselves. But we need to get to a point to where we're like, okay, yes, we expect the look to change a little bit from here and here. We're not in the old pixel days. But honestly, I'm at the point right now with Pokemon and seeing the ZA trailer. I kind of want them to go back to pixels. I really do. I kind of want them to go back to the pixels. At least then I could have my full roster. It's just absurd. While we have a much more advanced form of the game than we did back in the day of Pokemon Red and Blue, or Red and Green as it was in Japan. The fact that the games these days look like ass compared to any other game on the market right now, it's absurd. And then you throw me into ZNA, and this is what really pissed me off. It's like, okay, we took a world which was probably the largest at the time it released in Pokemon that they gave us. I remember taking a long time to travel through X and Y. I really do. I remember a long time trying to travel through that world. But you limit it to just the city, and you put us in an environment that really looks just like, for crying out loud, it looks like a GameCube game, honestly. And that, you're talking 4 generations of Nintendo products, and more likely 5, because it's more likely this is the launch title for the Switch too. I have no doubt this is Nintendo being like, oh, this is our launch title. Like, you're gonna compare this to Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild that is stunning compared to this crap. I mean, it looks like the most bland, and I'm gonna say, I am not interested in ZA. Absolutely not. Will I get it? Probably, because I need to continue my roster, and I want to finally freaking have everything in my Pokemon game there. But I'll probably wait my ass until they actually do something different. So I'm not buying immediately. I'm going to wait my ass off on that one. But, I mean, if this is the way that we're going to see them develop the games from now on, it really needs to change. It really does. We need to quit acknowledging and be like, oh, well, we accept this one, the way they make this look. It's like, no. I remember when Scarlet and Violet came out, initially was revealed. People were like, what the hell? What's with the look here? And then I get into the world 2 years after the release. 2 years. Game Freak. And it's so empty. And you have these massive cities with repeating stores in them. It makes no sense why we have the same store about 5 feet from the other store. And it's all for sandwich crap, which is completely pointless, other than you want to get eggs, which now is locked behind sandwich crap for some reason. It is so frustrating. It is so frustrating that this is the only way to get eggs. I'm sitting here playing the game. I'm like, I really would like to get, breed some of my Pokemon. Well, it's really, really hard now because the game does not really make it easy. And the reason why they don't make it easy is because they put it behind a damn mini game. So you're pissing off your classic players. And there's always the concept of, oh, we're making it duller, we're making it duller, we're making it duller. Nintendo, get a freaking story going for the games. Honestly, I don't even know if there is a story in Scarlet and Violet. I'm sitting here and playing it. I've beaten it. I'm a champion. I'm just about to beat the last... I beat all the Titans as well, and I've beaten all but one of the Star unit freaks. And I have had no trouble because, I've played the games for a long time. I have several level 100 characters that as soon as I was able to go, hey, I can bring in a level 100. I did. But it'd be like, we limited it. Yeah, you made it annoying. This was what really pissed me off a lot in playing Scarlet and Violet. You leveled up the gym badges to be only 5 levels up. Yet it would take you 15 to 20 levels to get to that location. So you're kind of forced to keep changing out Pokemon because, well, your Pokemon are going to be too experienced and won't start listening to you because you need a badge 5 miles down the road. And with piss poor directions, piss poor navigation, and a map that spins around, it makes no sense. Unless you pay attention to where the north button or north marker is, which is very small and not indicated. It's absolutely horrible job, Nintendo. And honestly, I have not bought the expansions. I don't know if I want to buy the expansions. I really don't. Because, honestly, the game is just pissing me off as a player. Now, am I alone on that? No. People like Moist Critical have called out the new look of the new ZA. They've called it out because it looks like ass. There's no excuse, Nintendo. There really is not. You have a system that's capable of running Hogwarts Legacy on it. Now, mind you, it's not that great at running Hogwarts Legacy. but you have a system that can run it. So, and that's before we do the upgrade, which I guarantee you Z and A is going to be on the upgrade, not on the new one or current one. Because Nintendo wants you to buy more money or spend more money on their product. They really do. So, absolutely, it's going to be... Your ZA is definitely going to be the launch title. I have no doubt in my mind Nintendo's making it the launch title. I think they should double think that, and they should go back to the drawing board and make it look better. And people are like, oh, but you can go up on the roofs now, and you can dodge. Yeah, it took us how many years? Oh, wait, we're on 30 almost here. 30 years to dodge. Yeah, I think Pokemon's been a little problematic on developing new ideas. And then you get into the Pokemon designs, and I think there's one or two and Scarlet and Violet that I'm liking at all. Most of the Pokemon I'm like, yeah, I've evolved it, it's done. Now I can transfer it and put it in home so I can transfer it to the other game. Because I got the dual package like an idiot. But I mean that brings the other issue. And this was an issue with Sword and Shield, and it's an issue now. If you buy both packages, you should be able to communicate between both packages. It should not be, oh, well, you have them combined. Well, you can play each game, but they're not going to connect. You're going to have to pay for home, and home then can connect to both games, and then you can transfer them. Mm-hmm. It's like, you freaking assholes. Honestly, I mean, I used to be a fan of Nintendo. I used to be. I still want to be. I enjoy most of the Zelda games. I haven't even picked up the new one because I'm like, really? Really? I mean, it's cutesy, Nintendo, but your fan base for Zelda is 40 at this point. Your fan base for Pokemon is almost 30. Why not try and bring out some stuff that is more entertaining? Now, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you did great. You did great. I was entertained. I'm enjoying it. I still pick it up every now and then when I'm not feeling well and be like, hey, let me put on some Zelda. I'll play it. But when I can just go over to my computer or go over to my PlayStation 5 and just play something far superior. I mean, 3 generations better graphics. It's just... It's heartbreaking as a Nintendo fan. It really is. It's heartbreaking. And I remember the days when you'd have a challenging game. You still kind of do it with Zelda and still kind of do it with Mario at times. You put out some things that are challenging. But Pokemon, God, the challenge has gone away. It has become just a hand-holding game where you're just like, oh, well, we're going to guide you from this point to this point on how to catch a Pokemon. I mean, we've been here for 30 years. And gosh, there are people that have been raised on Pokemon, but gosh, and they now have kids. They don't know how to catch a Pokemon. It really is. It's infuriating. It really is. So, let's get on with the first talk. And we're gonna start with the biggest problems. So, this is from CBR. I'm not a big fan of CBR, but we'll go on CBR. And the reason why I'm not a big fan of CBR is they rated my own comics. Well, they rated it a certain way, but they wouldn't freaking change the reviews or bring out the reviews. They wouldn't let me promote them or anything or push any future reviews. It's like, nope, we won't do it. It's like, okay, you're assholes with comics. All right, I got you. But CBR, Pokemon isn't difficult anymore. Like I said, it really isn't. I literally, in my run for Violet, because I have not played Scarlet yet. I have Scarlet in lineup to play. My playthrough Violet, I've pretty much just been playing Tinkertunk and spamming the hell out of it. I have a Tinkertunk that has the Grass Affinity Crystallize. I don't ever use Crystallize. I never use Crystallize. But it has the ability. So I'm just completely just destroying everything with a Fairy Steel type. I really am. And then once I got all the badges, gym badges, I was able to bring in my level 100s, and I'm dominating it with stuff I have had for years, and just using my combo. And it's like, seriously, not a challenge. Movement options don't feel different. They really don't. They really don't. I think the last time we felt a difference in movement options was the changing of different types of bicycles. But honestly, I hate to say it, the day we got rid of HM moves was the day it stopped feeling interesting with movement. It really isn't. And that goes into another one that'll hit the list, which is exploration. The exploration is crap in this game. And the games. Again, the graphics and the performance are horrible. I'm sorry, Pokemon. I want to give you guys good credit. It is not good. You're good with textures, but your asses need to get better with designing an actual game that runs on a system that looks compatible to the current setup. If it means taking 5 to 6 years to make a decent Pokemon game, do that. Doesn't mean you need to come out with a new Pokemon game every 2 years, which is what you're doing. New Pokemon designs don't have much personality. Yeah, they're kind of lackluster. There are a few that I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool. But most of them, it's like, it's an okay design. Honestly, in this case, hire your fans. Honestly. There is so many good Pokemon creations out there by fandom that Nintendo should be hiring. Game Freak should be hiring to make unique looking Pokemon. And it includes making unique locales. Make the thing look interesting. Don't make it boring. Most Pokemon games don't have expansive content. I'm yes and no on this. The thing they're pointing to is Black and White 2. Honestly, Game Freak, let's talk. Since Gold and Silver, the original Gold and Silver launch, we've had a way to explore multiple regions. That was the only game we got them in. Why aren't we connecting regions? It's not like the world's not ignorant. We know what you're doing. You're basically flip the world upside down and you're making that the regions. So why not let us go from region to region at times? Why not do a giant actual freaking Pokemon game in pixels so it's less demanding on the system where we can travel the world of Pokemon? Come on, Nintendo. You would sell so many copies, and you could even have it set up that people can choose which area of the world they want to start in. It's what people have been demanding since the freaking internet became a thing, Nintendo. Alright? Regions don't feel unique. Yeah, they don't. You're taking a region of the world and you're flipping it upside down. That's literally what it's Spain. For those who don't know what Galar is, it's Spain. The last one was England. The one before that was Hawaii. It's absurd that they keep not being very interesting and unique with their world. There's no reason to complete the Pokedex. Yeah, because you made it impossible to do it now. We can only complete it in home. And the ones that I need to complete are pretty much only special releases. And the few that I haven't gotten yet in Scarlet and Violet. So, yeah, I'm currently just waiting on some special releases. That's it. I mean, there might be one or two virus Pokemon that I haven't gotten from Sun and Moon. That's maybe the one thing I'm missing. But honestly, it's like I seriously am furious that there's no way to really complete the Pokedex anymore. I don't have a Mew. I've never had a Mew. I've had a Mew, I think, only through getting it with the game cheats systems back in the day, and you could never transfer them, so it never really got them. But I don't have a Mew. I still have a broken ass Mewtwo from a game glitch back in Blue, but I don't have a Mew. Storytelling has gotten progressive. Yeah, I'm not even paying attention to the story anymore. It really is boring. It's boring. Why the school? Why? It's like, oh, you need to go to your classes. I haven't gone to one of the classes. I don't intend to ever go to the classes. Why do I need to go to the classes, Nintendo? Why? Why does it even need to be school? Why can't it just be, oh, we're on an adventure to go and collect Pokemon again? That was the ingenious of the first games. That was the ingenious of the freaking anime that lasted 20 years. It's freaking absurd. It's absurd for Nintendo to be like this. Pokemon is missing the sense of adventure. Like I said, the adventure is not there. It's just not. I'm playing Violet. I've been going through and it's like the only thing that interests me is pulling the pins. I don't know what the pins do. I haven't bothered looking them up. But I'm going around the world and be like, oh, here's a black pin. Let me pull it. It could bring the destruction of the freaking world. I don't know. I'm just an ignorant idiot and going around going, hey, that looks stupidly cool. Let me pull the pin. Pokemon formula itself, the core series has its own issues. Yes and no. The issues are one of the things that we missed back in the day. One, you don't make a rival interesting anymore. In fact, I will say it. As soon as I beat the Final Four in Violet and went to go fight the rival champion, who's also a champion somehow, and not the fact that you just became champion, but somehow she's still a champion. Yeah, it makes no sense there. But as soon as I went and got to that fight, the game crashed. Yeah, it just crashed. It's like, oh, okay. And I literally was like, it was about 3 in the morning. I stayed up late because I was like, well, I just want to beat the Final Four and, complete that whole thing. And I did. Next thing I know, it's 3 in the morning and the game crashed on that final battle, which was like, oh, well, I'll become champion after that. No, I picked it up 2 days later and was like, yep. And it's like, oh, so she stays champion. Oh, yeah, that's how sports work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you stay champion. No, you don't. You may have been champion for a year, but you lost your position when somebody else beat your ass. It's time to teach kids and not be like, oh, who did a very good job? No, it's time to teach their ass on losing. And we'll get into that story as we get into the next part here. We'll get into the next news story. So that's one of the stories, but we'll talk a little bit about that as I work on Witchin' here. So one of the things that, having gone through what I just said with Violet and having it crash on me and whatnot, it gets to me the concept that Nintendo is not willing to ever take Pokemon Dark anymore. My God, we had descriptions in there and the games. The last time it was we're going back to X and Y and ZA. Are we going to learn anything about that damn ghost? That was creepy as crap. I doubt it, because that would be scary, and we don't want to scare the kids. Yeah, the Titan Quest. The fact the dog lived. You should have told kids how that life is fleeting. It would have been a far better point. Oh, but you want to kill the Pokemon dog? No! It's a better story. Teach them. There's no reason to not teach kids that death happens. Even in the world of Pokemon, death happens. I mean, given the psychotic nature of Sun and Moon at the end, I will give you that had a little bit of plot and creepiness at the end, but you shoved it all at the end. You didn't bring it up anywhere else until the end. And the very end, you put all that crap in there. I'm playing this with Scarlet and Violet. I don't know where any of it is. There was none of it in Sword and Shield. It was just too, oh, we're gonna go and stop the world. Oh, wow, look, the corporate. And I already guarantee it. And somebody's already called it out, but I'm going to call it out too. We know who the villains are in ZNA. We already do. It's the corporate woman and her men. Be original. For God's sake, that's not original. It's the cookie cutter villain of the week. Cookie cutter villain of the week. And we all know it's the villain. The way you designed her is the way she looks is a villain. And it'd be like, oh, well, we're going to teach you wrong. How wrong you were. You over-polluted the sun or went too far with the city and you made it worse. It's like, no. Why can't we have a damn Pokemon game that's about maybe, I don't know, helping the wildlife preserve or something like that is something more original. Honestly, I mean, Black and White plot was probably the peak of a good story. The Black and White plot. And that's when you were willing to take on PETA as the villain. Alright. Talk all you want that it's not PETA. It was PETA. Everybody knew that was PETA. And with good reason, you're going after them because they've always been going off about how Pokemon is a horrible game, teaches people to abuse animals, which is total bull crap, but it was PETA trying to do it. To try and make people listen to their cultist crap. And PETA is a cult, in my opinion. Because they've done nothing but kill animals. They've never helped animals. And you just have to look at the charts to see that. But the fact of the matter is we see just terrible writing of Pokemon. I mean, for God's sake, if the plot is as we're predicting with ZNA, you're repeating Sword and Shield. You really are. The guy in charge was the one that the villain. No. Give us a for God's sake, write a villain. Learn how to write a villain. I don't even want you to learn how to write a villain. You know, give them a reason to become a villain. Not, oh, we're gonna make money and profits, and that's the coward's way. That is the cowardly way. I hate to say it, Hollywood, you do it so much that it's a joke. That's a joke. It really is. It's a Lifetime joke. It's like, who's the villain in the Lifetime movie? It's the corporation person. Yeah. Why not promote being successful in life and finding things that, I don't know, help the world in a proper way. Corporations actually do help the world, and I hate to inform those who don't want to believe it, but it's true. Corporations actually do help the world evolve. But, and there's this big one corporation called Nintendo, and they like to abuse their audience base and think that they're not a big corporation, but they're the third biggest gaming company in the world, and yeah, they've had a muscle-armed grip over their lawyers and whatnot. Ooh, scary. Nintendo lawyers might come after me for me judging their games. No. Come and take what I ain't got. We'll show you. Go right ahead. I ain't got nothing for you to sue me for. You'd be bleeding a freaking empty cup dry. But Pokemon needs to see fresh ideas, and honestly, it's time Game Freak hired the fans. It really is. If they've not been hiring their fans by now, it's I don't know what they're planning to do to succeed the next 5 years, because they're not gonna. ZNA just shows just the same old. And anybody who's like, oh, but it's interesting. I can finally move my Pokemon around, and they can dodge. Well, you know, one gimmick is not enough, folks. Sorry. And that's all Pokemon's become, is gimmicks. I'm glad they're getting Megas back, because Megas were the one and probably only cool gimmick, in my opinion. The giantification and Sword and Shield, and now the crystallization and Scarlet and Violet is crap. It's absolute crap. I like the idea of them getting another type, but I've been fighting a lot of Pokemon that their type just makes them weaker to an attack from my Pokemon. It really does. That's all it is. And it's like, why would I want to keep this around? It's a weaker Pokemon. It really is. I just fought, because I was playing it before coming on today, and it's like, I just fought a Sharpedo, or what? No, not a Sharpedo. What is it? The Shark Dragon type. I'm forgetting my whatever his name is. I just fought one of his types with grass. He had grass ability. I'm like, seriously? He's dark, dragon, and grass. So I brought out my fairy with my Tink Tunk with metal, and I just destroyed him in one blow. And it's like, this Pokemon is 60, and the Pokemon I'm up against is 60, and it's a dragon type, and I destroyed it in one blow. It's not a challenge anymore, Nintendo. It really isn't. It sucks as a game. And if you keep going this route, you're not having games. You're basically just, man, this is what pisses me off too. Nintendo's not looking. I can tell where Nintendo's going with Pokemon. It's not the original games. They don't give a crap about the original games anymore. And it shows. It shows. It's the mobile games. It's 100% the mobile games. They're making their dough off of the mobile games, and they're going to keep going with the mobile games. And they're going to pull out some crap to try and expand the games with the new games, but the new games are going to be still total crap. And they're just going to keep doing that until eventually people wise up and quit paying their mobile games. And then they start to see their money dropping, and then they're going to have to seriously look at what's wrong with Pokemon games. And it's kind of like with the Pokemon cards. I have a nephew who loves the Pokemon cards. He loves collecting them. It is near impossible to get cards because the only audience really for the cards are little kids who have no money and scalpers who buy up all the cards and then charge overpriced prices for them. So yeah. It's like, oh, I want to get my nephew some Pokemon cards. I know he likes them. It's going to cost me $200 to get some Pokemon cards. It's like, seriously? They're cards. They're pieces of paper with funny little pictures on it and values. And occasionally it's a foil. Or occasionally it's an AR, as they say nowadays. Please. Please. It should not cost $200 to buy a box. It really shouldn't for a hobby. That's more in the damn games. I'd rather just buy him the damn games, but he isn't interested in the games because the games suck. You hear that? Nintendo, a 10-year-old thinks your games suck. He'd rather play... well, I don't know what he plays with the card. I don't know if he plays with the cards. You know, he just collects them. But he doesn't play them. I know that much because I haven't really watched him play them. He doesn't really even know the names of most of the Pokemon. I've asked him. I've sat on the phone with him and be like, oh, well, I know that Pokemon. Like, what's his name? He's like, Metalhead. He's like, no, that's Magneton. I mean, it just doesn't pay. It really doesn't pay. And if you're a viewer, you're watching this later, and you're like, oh, well, you're rambling on and on and on about Pokemon. Is it really that important? No, it really isn't. I'd rather talk about this than politics, honestly. There's a lot of things we can talk with in politics that are just gonna bend sides one way or the other. I don't care right now. I'm of the mindset that the world is not blowing up right now. I'm happy. Now, if we can get some more jobs coming into the United States, I'd be happier. Because I'm trying to find a new job. And, well, it'd be nice if I could actually find a new job. I've even contemplated applying for Nintendo because they're applying for artists. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, do I really want to go across the country to the West Coast to Washington State, particularly Seattle, and deal with that mess and work for Nintendo? Not really. I see that's the main problem. It really is. And I think a lot of the entertainment industry, a lot of the gaming industry, they've been stuck on the West Coast for so long. I think a lot of them are starting to realize it's going to cost them a lot of money to stay on the West Coast. Nintendo, I don't know if you plan to move, but you really should. You really should. Seattle particularly, Resting, I know you're in Resting, not in Seattle direct, but you're right outside of Seattle. Considering you could get, employees and probably make a lot or expend a lot less in a state that is not as problematic and make boku bucks. There's no reason for companies to stay in those areas. And I mean, I'm not leaving politics alone. Even just the risk of elements. I mean, Seattle, Oregon, Chicago, Washington, Oregon, and California, earthquakes are a serious problem, and volcanoes are a serious problem, and monsoon and rainstorms are a serious problem. We've seen it. I mean, yeah, over here on the East Coast we get hurricanes, but usually it's not that bad. Usually. And this last year we had a once in 100-year problem. California, that was literally what's happened in California the last few months. That's a annual occurrence, honestly. So, just in company-wise, running a company-wise, I would not suggest being in the West Coast these days. I really would not. I don't know if I'd suggest being on the East Coast either, but I ain't got much choice where I live right now. I could pack it up and move elsewhere, but I've got family here that I've got to watch over, and that's part of the main reason. It's like I'm the responsible adult of my family in this area right now. It's like, yay, my folks have gotten old and elderly, and now I have to be the one to be around in case something is needed. But yeah, I mean, I just wish the games were better. That's honestly it. I wish the games were better. It's something nice to come and pick up every now and then as a Pokemon game, but I'm at the point where I'm much rather happily play the old games. I really would. It makes no sense why we can't just enjoy those anymore. It really isn't. Maybe it's just nostalgia. I thought about this the other day, earlier today. If, because I was talking to someone, maybe it's a dating off possibility and whatnot, and they're like, we're chatting, and I'm like, a lot of the stuff I'm talking with them about is very nostalgic. It's like, are we really just trying to find someone in our lives for nostalgia feel? Because we're like, oh, we remember the good times. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I kind of feel off on dating, but it's not on the person. It's really not on the person. I'm the first person that I could actually have a conversation. It's not like, hey, here's my phone number, call me. It's like, hello? It's literally, yeah, come and meet me. Yeah, you come and meet me. It's like, phone number, let's get together. It's like, no. Tell me a bit about yourself, first. Don't just be like, oh, work together. It's like, no, I said hi. But I guess maybe that's why I suck at dating. Maybe it is. I don't know. I forgot to do this. But yeah. Overall, playing Violet, it sucks, and I'm gonna have to play Scarlet, and it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck worse because I know more about what I need to do in the game. And what really was infuriating. So I went to the first gym, conquered the first gym, which was the bug grass. I don't remember which one. It is the grass one. It is the grass gym. So I completed the grass gym. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I need to go to this gym. And I was trying to get to the one on the top of the thing, not realizing it's the final gym. I was like, well, I can't get to this one. So let me go and see where's the nearest one I can get to. Let me get to this one. And it's the water gym. And the water gym was like level 30, 40 Pokemon, and I'm maxed level 20. Only way I beat it is I surprise traded, and somebody gave me a surprise trade Mankey, or whatever the new version of Mankey is, at level 100, and I was like, and I was like, I don't like doing this for a gym, but I'm gonna have to bring in the level 100 and hope he pays attention, because it's the only way I can beat the gym at the start of the game. I beat it, and I was like, and it said, no, Pokemon will pay attention to you to 25. I was like, you son of a bitch! I'm like, I had to freaking survive level 30s to get this gym. I was like, and you're telling me all I can do is level 25? They don't indicate. It's like, you really should fight the gyms in order. You really need to fight the gyms in order in that game, and it's really stupid. But then, it'd be asking a lot of Game Freak to actually make the gyms comparable by level for when you get to them. It really would. But the thing, like I said, making it to where I have to struggle to get to 60 and then I'm unlocked everything is just insane. And I get it. It's to make you to try and use other Pokemon. But in all honesty, at a certain point in the game, even if you're not having backup players and you haven't traded any, you're going to have your favorites. And which ones can actually do something. And a lot of the ones I've been finding new, it's been like, I really don't care for. It's just been the fairy one that I had, the Tink Tank, or whatever, Tink Tunk, or whatever it's called. That's the only one I've been using like crazy. Not even the starters. I started with Furry Croco, whatever, the fire gator one. I started with that, and about maybe level 15, I did a surprise trade and ended up getting the cat grass type as well, the Sprigato or whatever, Sprigatino. But they didn't give me the baby; they gave me like the second evolution version. And so I just walked around with the fairy type, the fire type, the fire lead, and the grass type. And I still have not found someone to trade me the duck, which I guess I'm gonna have to get now from the freaking Scarlet. Is what I'm gonna have to play is get the damn duck. And nobody wants the duck. Nobody wants that duck. It's stupid as crap. Alright, what time is it here? Alright, it's about time. Let's go ahead and do the next story here. So the next part here. Alright! Every unused Pokemon type. So if you've ever been wondering, it's like, hey, what types of Pokemon have we yet to see? Since it's the combo type, just this, this is excluding, the crystallization where people can gain an extra form or extra type. But and like I say, they don't come into play, and usually I've been running into they just make your Pokemon weaker. So the types we have pretty much are normals or bugs. So bug normal, bug dragon. I don't understand why we don't have another dragonfly bug dragon. Fairy fire. Why don't we have a fairy fire? I can already think of a fairy type fire. Fairy fire is a occurrence in the paranormal world. So it'd be a fairy thing. Right there. Fairy fire. You can just think of a nice name for it. Fairy ground. Gnomes! Where are the gnomes? Ghost rock. Alright, that... I don't understand why we don't have it at this point, but yeah, it's a little more hard to think there. As well as ice poison's a little more. Slush, I guess, slush. There you go. Ice poison, slush. Ice normal. I don't know. I really don't have a concept there. Normal rock. Don't have a concept there. Normal steel. Don't have a concept. So those are the types that we still haven't hit. So given AZ, we have, what do we have? I'm trying to remember which Pokemons we have. I know we have the pig, Chikorita, we have the pig, Tepig, and we have Crocodile, or Totodile. We have Totodile as well. Totodile and Totodile and all that. Now, I have a feeling they're going to do what they did in Legends of Arceus. They're going to have alternate forms. So we're going to get a version of Chikorita that's different. We're going to get a version of Totodile that's different, and a version of Tepig that's different. Tepig could go Fire Fairy. I have no idea with Chikorita what they may go, but we kind of have all the grass types out there, so it's all varied. Same with Totodile. All the waters types have been out there and used in a combo. So it could be anything. But I am putting a bet out there now. I think Tepid's going to go Fire Fairy. Because they don't have that. They really don't. It's the one unique combo that hasn't come into play yet. And I think they could do something unique with that, with a pig. What that is I'm not sure. I mean, I could work, hours on hours to try and design something in my own mind of how it would work. But I would not be surprised if Tepig evolves into some sort of fairy fire type. I'm trying to think of legends and myths, because I have had a study about them, because Demon Blade hits a lot of legends and myths. Baku, I guess we could hit Baku maybe a little bit. The concept of the Dream Eater, Baku, with Tepig. That do something with that maybe. Cannabis would be another pig type, but that's more what Ganon became. It came from. Cannabis is a very dark and evil pig monster of I believe it's African. I think Northern African descent, mythologically. But I mean, it's that kind of concept. It's play with the ideas. Do I think ZA is gonna be grand? No, I don't. You guys can see in this little picture here. Point out problems with the problem with the benches of Z. So look here, can't go in these buildings. They're the same types. We just got these blocky buildings with these sloped roofs. Not that interesting. The trees are meh. The grass looks slightly better than Scarlet and Violet, but if you're going onto a Switch 2, the grass should look a lot better. It should. If the graphic upgrade is to be as rumored, to match the PS4, it should be better. It should. There's no excuse for it. It really is. Slight change to character model. I mean, they're going back to the original look because a lot of people hated the look of the humans and ZA, and so yeah, it's something that you kind of want to see, and I'm glad Game Freak listened to that, because the moment Scarlet and Violet was announced, people were like, "What the hell? The characters look butt ugly." And if they didn't listen to that, then they really would have been in trouble. And it'd be like, seriously, guys. What is more infuriating is we have a 25-year-old anime to go off of as representation of Pokemon. And it brings into one of my constant frustrations as a fan and player for the entire run of Pokemon so far. Nintendo, Game Freak, it's been 30 years. Time to stop with the damn MIDI. Pokemon calls. We don't need to hear the same old, technologically played out on a freaking keyboard MIDI calls of a Pokemon. If you don't want to pay voice actors to do the whole thing that you did in the anime, where they say their names, fine. At least you hire a decent Foley artist, for God's sake, okay? I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for you to be able to go through and get unique animal calls. Hell, just use nature calls! For God's sake, no one will freaking complain and be like, oh, that's actually a pigeon. Oh, well, that voice, that sound is actually a lion. I don't think people would have problems if you record actual nature noises and make them the calls. I'm just tired of hearing the as a freaking Pokemon call, because an animal would not make that noise. But they're Pokemon. Pokemons are animals in the world. We need to acknowledge that. There are no other animals in the Pokemon worlds but Pokemon. I mean, fan projects. Oh God, I watched came across a fan project, Pokemon, the Pokemon world on let me see if I can find it, on YouTube.
Get your pencils ready, let's start the show. Travel draws here, time to let it flow. We'll sketch and laugh, won't you come along? Every stroke we'll sing our song.
Let's see if I can find it here.
Travel draw, let your imagination soar.
Videos.
Travel draw, bring art to every door. No need to be perfect, just have some fun. Travel draw
It's
for everyone.
whoever's doing it. It's a fan created series, and they're using CGI in stunning ways to make it look like it's a nature documentary series with Pokemon. And it shows you, here it is, Poke Earth. Look at that. It's making the games look like crap in a video. And I'm not going to play it because I can't give them enough credit. But the series of Poke Earth is outstanding. And I suggest if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out now. The people behind it are putting great details in it. This is about the mating rituals of Clogsire. This literally was just about the mating rituals of Clogsire. So, and they make it's literally a nature documentary, but with Pokemon. And it looks stunning. Why Nintendo can't do stuff like that, I don't know. Some of their shows, I hear the Pokemon Ami or whatever, the one that is on Netflix is actually really good. I have not watched it yet, but it's stop motion, and be creative with the projects. Don't just give us total crap. Oh, I showed it. I didn't even show it. Damn it. Okay, Alright, let me show this. Bring this up on top here. Okay. So, yeah, here's the trailer. You can see Quagsire moving through. I haven't even seen the Hoppy or the Squirtles coming to play yet. It looks like if we had a true film. Yes, the Dodo. The Dodo one was the one that just came out. That was about the Dodo being separated from the pack in the deserts. And having to try and find their way back. And it was so great. Poke Earth. Definitely check out Poke Earth. They are by far one of the... it's got 3 million views for The Life of Clogsire. Come on, man. The Life of Clogsire is like I said, it's just about Pokemon the Pokemon mating rituals of Clogsire. Which, I mean, just look at it. It's just trying to find a mate. And then it goes and it fights another Clogsire for mating rights. And the way they fight is just so dumb. It's just them slapping each other across the face. But it's what nature would do. And it's something for them to really learn about. And a lot of what Nintendo's done in animation and film and stuff like that, I've been happy with. They've done a great job on that stuff. I have not watched all Pokemon shows. I stopped watching Pokemon after years ago on of the original anime. But the idea of doing like these smaller Pokemon things and expanding the world of Pokemon to make it be more like an Earth we don't have would be so much more entertaining than what you've got in the game. It really is. It really is. I mean, it's just... And see, the sad thing is, we pull up Pokemon. I see how to complete your Pokedex fast and easy in Pokemon Scarlet. That's one game, but that's after the 2 Poke Earths, which are connected to what I did for the search, and a bunch of freaking card reveals. When your big seller is the cards and not the game you've built from the cards, or built before the cards, you got a problem. When the franchise is not succeeding in the spot that it originated in, you've got a problem. And I mean, Nintendo's not going to listen to me. It's freaking multi-billion. It's the 3rd largest franchise in the world as Pokemon. I think it's the 3rd. I could be wrong. It could be the 2nd. I think it's behind Coca-Cola and behind Hello Kitty. Which I have no complaints with Hello Kitty. By God. Hello Kitty's doing it right. Although I haven't played the game, so... But, and they've been kind of backseating my original go-to in Hello Kitty of That Is Maru. He has been kind of getting the back seat for a long time. But, I'm fine. I've become more of a Kagurumi character or fan. Even though I've got three Hello Kitty items within my arm's reach. 3 of which are from the McDonald's Happy Meal toy that they did this past year with combo with Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I thought it was hilarious. I've got my Purine Exodiat right next to my head here as I speak. Yeah, I mean, actually all my Hello Kitty things, with the exception of my purse, I believe, are all connected to I guess Agretzko is also technically part of Hello Kitty's world, so I do have an Agretzko wallet as well. So 5. I forgot that. Well, 6. God dang it. Because I got a Goitama figure as well. Because Goitama is the boss. The lazy egg. But, yeah. Yeah, I got a Kagurumi, but the Kagurumi is... So, I'm going to flat out say it right now. Crunchyroll, do not get a Lucky Box from them. It sucks. I ordered a Lucky Box from them because I was like, okay, it's Christmas. I'm going to get a Lucky Box. Bought the $100... No, wait. I bought the $200 Lucky Box from them. I got 2 manga. One of which did not have, or was not the start of the series. So it's like, alright. I got 2 DVDs, one of which was a series. I was like, okay, I'm fine with this one. But the other one was a series. Is like, here's disc 7 of this set that no one really cares about. Then on top of that, I got a plushie of one of the Flames from Fire Force that I think it's the co-captain, the female captain with all the muscles, like crazy, her little fire sprite or whatever you call it that she has. I have that. It took me a while to figure out what it was. Then they gave me figurines, 2 of which I probably at one point will offer up as a deal for somebody because I don't want them. One of which is a Demon Slayer figurine. It's like, I don't want it. Why? Why don't I want it? It's Demon Slayer. It's good anime. It's the spider guy. It's the emo kid, spider kid in the season 1. And it's the most boring pose ever of him in there. That's why I don't want it. The other one is from Rent a Girlfriend. I've never watched. I don't care. Someone can have it. And it's her and one of the girls in a inner tube and a bathing suit. So, yeah. The last figure I'll keep because I find it humorous. It's a Fig Arts figurine of Guts from Berserk. That when I got it... Dadgummit. When I got the figure out from where it was I was literally trying to figure out what the heck I was looking at, because it's all black except for the face. That's it. Everything else is all black, and it's in a box that's all dark, so you can't even see what's in the box. And you'd be like, what do I have here? Oh, it's Guts! It's Guts in his demon armor. Okay! And he has 2 interversable faces, so I can change the face. But I was like, yeah, it took me a while to figure out it was Guts. And when I found out, it's like, oh, okay, I might keep it. And I was like, yeah, I'll keep it. It's Guts. It's not a bad figure, but it's more of one of the toy-esque figures where you can kind of alter the parts out as you want and position it where you want, versus like a statuine figure that you mainly see in series. That's why I wasn't doing anything. I already drew him up there. Okay. But yeah, mainly been spending last week, and I had the unfortunate news of a former co-worker from another job I've had years ago. Her husband passing away, and it's like, okay, yeah. That I'm reaching the age where it's like it's not too hard to see people pass. And it's just like, ouch. Now, mind you, I haven't reached the age where it's like, oh, they're my age and they're passing. Entirely. I haven't reached that entirely. I have to say that because back in high school, I was good friends with a young woman who, her father is semi-famous in my hometown as an artist. He's a very skilled artist, and he always did crazy, silly things to amuse people. That's literally what he liked to do. He liked to do it for kids. While I was friends with his daughter, she never told very many people that she had cancer. And not long after I graduated high school, she passed. And I got to speak with their dad a few times afterwards, and the man is broken. When his daughter passed, it was just gut-wrenching to him. But I mean, he still stood out there doing art for the home, children's hospital and all that stuff, being a good individual, because that's the person that he wanted to be cheerful for his daughter, even though she was no longer around. And yeah, I mean, it sucks to have learned, pretty much when I came out of college, that one of the people I chat with in school and classes in high school was gone. And it was they weren't gone from an accident, they were just gone because cancer. And it sucks. It really does. And so, yeah, hearing this week that my former coworker, her husband passing, and it's like, I knew how much she deeply loved the man. And it's hard. It's hard to accept that someone you love greatly is going to die. It's even harder when it happens. Last week was the year anniversary of my uncle passing. A year ago, I literally was in bed when that happened because I had just gotten out of surgery. And we had all the worries of me being in surgery, and when I came out of surgery, my brother was instantly on the phone. He's like, we need to talk, but not until it's appropriate. And I'm like, well, I'm sitting here, can't feel my legs, but sure. And he told me, well, my uncle's not gonna live for the next day, but live to see the next day. And it's like, gut-wrenched. And yeah, I mean, it's never easy. But I mean, again, I like I said earlier, Nintendo, you need to be a little more adult with Pokemon. You just need to be. Unless you want to turn it into, a true little kids show. You need to be a little more adult. I mean, you killed somebody off in the Pokemon game, or in the Pokemon anime, but you didn't do it in the games. So, you need to kill off, not be afraid of killing off a Pokemon and showing that life it's gonna end. And you take those moments and you move on. Because if you don't, it will destroy you. And that kind of stuff. And it goes with any kind of bad news. I mean, I lost my job last month that I had for my day work. And now all I have to do is job hunt, do some exercising, clean around the house, and try to occupy my mind for freaking hours on end until I do a stream. And it's hard. It's hard. And it doesn't help when my health acts up like crazy here and there. I'm trying to do better with my health by trying to figure out, what things can I eat that won't trigger things? What things can I eat and I'll be in better shape? And it's pieces to go from here and there. I mean, I literally just had a dinner of a sandwich. Mind you, I was like, I really want some bacon, and I had a mediocre bacon sandwich. I ordered it from some place instead of making it, and I honestly wish I made it because the bacon was not that great. I was like, you people. It was a place that I used to like, and they did good with stuff, but they still do good with soup, but they suck with everything else. And they might be a chain of sandwich places that do breakfast and bake goods and may have their name start with the letter P and end in the word era. Yeah, it was a subpar bacon sandwich. It really was. So, I mean, not too happy with that, but hey, live with things. Here, you know, this song. This is foreshadowing of a villain in my series. I thought out the villain's life to develop their concept throughout the series. And what brought them down and how they will develop in the future is based off these elements. And what makes Magneto one of the greatest villains in Marvel history? He's got a backstory that is relevant. It really is. It's not just, I'm just a villain because I'm a villain. And there's a good example. Magneto ain't a freaking, corporate executive. The dude is freaking a nutcase trying to liberate mutants. There you go. Give me a villain that wants to liberate Pokemon. Nintendo, come on. I dare you. Give me someone who is trying to release Pokemon onto the world and make it bad that Pokemon are encased in balls and whatnot. Bring a contradiction of story to your property. I dare you. They won't. I guarantee you. We'll get the next game announced, Pokemon game in about 2 years, and they'll be like, oh, and the villain, there's no villain in this story. No, here you'll have a fire, a grass, and a water starter. The water starter is more than likely a duck or a crocodile or a fish or a frog, because we can't think of anything else. And the fire is going to be anything but a dragon. Yeah, because we already did a dragon first. Now, mind you, we've done 2 birds, but 2 pigs, and the crocodile now, a monkey, yeah. Yeah, honestly, Pokemon, here's a concept for a starter. Make it random. You get to choose the starter out of 3 random Pokemon in the world. You then can catch all the Pokemon, not just the starters. Can never be caught in the world, even though they exist in the world, supposedly of this world. We can't catch them. That was always the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Why, out of these 3 Pokemon that are found, they're the only ones that exist in the world, unless you breed them? They should be prominent in this area. Even if they're rare, they should still have a place in the world where you can catch them. That's why I like the old game, the original game. You can glitch it, you can find the starter Pokemon. How do you glitch it, people say? Well, you know the missing number? Don't catch the missing number, but every time you went around up and down in that area not getting missing number, you'd also have a chance of a random Pokemon encounter. That random Pokemon encounter will be broken. Now, normally it's based off of a couple parameters like the last fight you had. How I got a broken Mewtwo is because last fight I had was with Mewtwo. Then I went up and down on the glitch line, and I got a broken Mewtwo. And what do I mean by broken Mewtwo? The dude's stats were out the freaking wazoo. It's like the most stat you could have in red and blue was 255 on any stat. Well, I had like 500 on this Mewtwo. Dude was a glitch. I think he got fixed at some point because he's not as glitched anymore, but I still have it. And it's like, I still have this Mewtwo. This Mewtwo was glitched severely. It's the good old games. It's nostalgia. It's nostalgia. We're back to things. Speaking of which, let's cover the last talking point here. 5 things to look forward to in Pokemon A and Z, according to MSN. Alright. New booster pack release. Oh yeah, this is the thing I look forward to in the next game. Is a booster pack to something that's not related to that game. So let me buy something that's completely unrelated to the game that I'm buying. Yeah, good one, MSN. Upgraded intermission customization options. You mean the ones that they got rid of? How about just bringing those back? Pokemon catching mechanics built on implement and Legend Arceus. They're not gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. They showed some catching of Pokemon while they're feigning. That's good. I'd like to see that. It made no sense, as everybody says, it's made no sense why I couldn't catch a feinted Pokemon. But by putting that in there, it already defeats the purpose of Pokemon. It really does. Because it was a challenge to catch them, and now if it's fainted, there's no challenge. So the challenge just dropped. So if you're looking at it as a positive, well, I hate to inform you, it's going to make the game easier from the easy state it's at. Real-time Pokemon battles. Yeah, well, I ain't holding my breath, Game Freak. Really am not. Return to Mega Evolutions. That's the only thing I'm happy about. Better have more options, too. The fact that we don't have more options with Mega Evolutions. Get rid of all the other gimmicks and just keep Mega Evolutions, please. God damn, get rid of the other. Because all the Z moves was Mega Evolutions just remade. It just needs to stay as Mega Evolutions. It really does. Return of some franchise most interesting lore. I'm not holding my breath on lore. I really am not. No. If you want to tell me there's lore and going to be in this new one, I think it's not going to be that great. I can already tell you from what I saw. And that's me judging a trailer that has no lore introduced. I'm saying there's not going to be very good lore. Might let you put a dramatic spin on Lumino City. Again, oh, this one's Screen Rant that did this on MSN. What do they want to say is the spin. It's set in the Kalos region, carefully the regions of Lumino City. No, it's only in Lumino City, and that's what's really annoying. Could be a city builder game. No. That would say they put something into the game that's actually productive. Yeah, sandwich making is not productive. It's downgrading, and it makes it far harder to get eggs in the game. It really does. I'm gonna try. I haven't tried with a Ditto. I have a Ditto now, several Dittos now. I'm gonna try and get some Pokemon with Dittos after the stream, but I don't think that's gonna be possible. I really don't. Or be that great of a Ditto collection. And I'm not one that go EV chaining. So, none of that stuff. Fix Scarlet and Violet's biggest battle mistake. Scarlet and Violet has a lot of mistakes. Okay? Scarlet and Violet has a lot of mistakes. Well, there's plenty of potential for customization. It didn't in the original game. I don't expect it much here either.
Life's not quite what it once seemed.
What Pokemon Legends ZA could mean for Black and White remakes. That they're not going to happen. As much as I'd love to see a Black and White remake, the only reason why I say they're not going to happen is I feel they'd probably be the more controversial ones. There are a lot of people who love Black and White, but they love Black and White 2 and not Black and White. And if you did Black and White, if you had a story that went against PETA, which ideas and concepts have changed over the years, but still, I mean, PETA is still a crappy organization that kills off animals and doesn't really save them, despite saying that you're out to save the animals. So, I mean, it's just garbage. It really is. Established Pokemon Legends gameplay could easily suit rebuilding Lumina City. No. I have zero interest in seeing Luminos city building. And I don't think it's gonna happen at all in the game anyway. It's like, oh, you can run around on the rooftops now. Oh yeah, you just finally realized we can get on a rooftop? Wow. What amazing concepts. You know, I have other games like from your own company that I could run around and zorp through, you know, an underground world to an above ground world, pinpoint the accuracy of that, but no. We can finally run on a rooftop. If I don't see a Pokemon sewer level in Pokemon Z and A, I am going to be disappointed. Because it's based on Paris, France. There are two things that I could say is exploration in Paris, France. The sewers and the catacombs. The catacombs are a death sentence to actually travel in, but it make an interesting exploration for a Pokemon game. Be like, oh, well, yeah, we have this underground death cave of bones just lined up along the walls. It was stacked in, like, billions of them. And people get lost in the maze and they die. And we never find them because they get lost and die. And it takes years for us to find their bodies, if they get out at all. So it's... I have very little hope for Pokemon in the future. I really do. I find it... despite it being... Let me see. Largest franchises in the world. All right. My mistake. Okay. So, this is current rate. Pokemon is a $50 billion franchise, right next to Mickey Mouse. I think the games are going to start seeing a decline, and I think the franchise is going to start seeing a decline. We no longer have a steady anime to keep watching. We no longer have good games coming out from the regular franchise of the game. All we're getting is mobile games, and mobile games have a shelf life of about 5 years, usually. So... yeah, I'm not going to be surprised to see Pokemon just die down to a gimmick in the future. And the fact that you had Pal World and Nintendo go and do the lawsuit, and there's still that whole lawsuit mess. But you look at it, it's like, this is going to be a mess. It really is. And... jet aircraft livery sales is 3 million in Pokemon. Okay. When you talk about jet aircraft, it's yeah, you're really squeezing that money out there. Pokemon's the number one franchise. Okay, I get it. Yes, it's the number one franchise. If it wants to stay number one, it's going to start losing that slot. And you'd be like, oh, you don't know that. You don't know that. I called One Piece becoming number one in the comic industry. I did not call it becoming number 6 in fiction of all time, which it did. And it's still going, folks. It could beat Harry Potter. The only ones that have trouble beating is probably Frankenstein. The Bible's going to be a bit challenging, but hey, that's going to be a bit of a problem to catch up to. But One Piece is getting there. Let me see. We got this list. Let me see where One Piece is on here. Winnie the Pooh, Star Wars, Disney Princesses. All that is Disney. Why is that not included in Disney's totals? Anpan Man is 38 billion. Barbie is 36 billion. Anpan Man just barely beats Barbie somehow. Harry Potter is 34.7 billion. Marvel Cinematics is 33 billion. Hello Kitty is 32 billion. Call of Duty 31. Batman 29. Spider-Man 26. Transformers 25. Dungeon Fighter Online. I have no idea what Dungeon Fighter is, but 22 billion. Cars. The Disney movie Cars franchise of Cars. Or the Pixar franchise Cars. 21 billion. Not deserving. Despite how much Galgura might, push the Church of Lightning McQueen. Okay. 10 billions. I'm trying to see if One Piece ranks on this at all. Dragon Ball comes in at 9 billion. Demon Slayer comes in at 9 billion. I'm curious. They're not including... I know One Piece is higher than that. You can't tell me it's lower. And I'm not talking just the manga. I'm talking anime sales. I'm talking merchandise sales. I'm talking other things. It's much higher. I want to see where One Piece is as a growing franchise. It's a 20 billion enterprise, okay? So it's already above. It should already be, let's see, it should be somewhere. Should be with Candy Crush. And right below Cars. Right below Cars, somehow. It's a 20 billion franchise, but it's not listed. I don't know why it's not listed. Somehow we have Dungeon Fighter Online. I have no idea what the hell Dungeon Fighter Online is. But it's saying Batman makes more money. It's bigger than Batman in fiction. It's right below Harry Potter in fiction. It's been announced recently. And Harry Potter is 34.7 in fiction. So I don't even know if the 20 billion is correct. I think that's not correct. Highest grossing anime. Okay, here we go. Pokemon, of course, 92. Hello Kitty, 80. Why is Winnie the Pooh and Disney on the anime franchises? Okay. Mario at 36. Mario is loosely, okay. Shonen Jump and its all is 34. And they don't even list One Piece in this list for some reason. Oh, no, they do. 20.1 million. And this is based off of Title Max listing of them. I want to see as of record when this was. When this was written. It's not telling me when this was written. So I have no idea if that's even up to date. Okay, no, that's 2023. As of 2023. We know it's already past that, Pat. Please. Fiction. No. That's just gonna give me the. It's not gonna give me the mark that of what happened recently. But yeah, we're getting quotes of 20 billion in 2023, and the series had a huge uptick in 2024, 23, late 23, 24, and ended now 25. So I would not doubt that it's surpassed Marvel Cinematic Universe in sales at this point, and it's about to pass Harry Potter. I would not doubt that. I'm just seeing number of units and franchises. Let's see. McDonald's doesn't. McDonald's does 35 billion. Okay, 35 billion. Let me show you what I'm seeing. That fast food chains that rake in. This is McDonald's. Let's see. Domino's. It's saying largest pizza shop. Largest franchises. Grossing media franchises of all time. This was what Title Max had put on there. This is from 2023. Now, this ranking is not up to date. It's 2 years behind it. Media franchises. So, if we go with Wikipedia, which is also out of date, it would be, just going by the numbers it has listed for 2023, it would be right here. But it puts Pokemon at the top at 98.9 billion. Now, I do want to see, let's see, gaming sales. Let's see, gaming sales. Pokemon gaming sales. Per year. Alright. 480 million per year has been shipped over worldwide. That was in 1996, though. I want to see more recent numbers. All right. All these freaking ads. Main series. All right. Overall, it sold 327 million as of 2020. Again, these 2 years too old. It's 2 years old. Come on. I want to see what all-time best. Let's see, is this best Pokemon, best-selling Pokemon games? All right, except all whatever. Red and green, red, blue, green. Sword and Shield was up. Violet did not meet the same totals as Sword and Shield, so it's going down. And let's see, Legends of Arceus is way down, which is surprising because Arceus, I feel, is a far better game than Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield. This is a bad sign, though. So, you have the two main games on the Switch. The reason why Sword and Shield was so high on the Switch is because it was the first time that you had a home console Pokemon main game. I get that. But it still couldn't beat Red and Green / Blue. And it still barely beat Gold and Silver. Then you start to see the decline on each version. Sun and Moon somehow surpassed Ruby and Sapphire. X and Y surpassed it. Black and White is down here. This is another reason why Black and White is less likely to get a remake, people. It's the lowest rated of the main series. And then you have Legends of Arceus, the Pikachu Eevee game, the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl remake. All three of those are low. Look at the numbers. It's down here. It's about half the sales that Nintendo was expecting, probably. Because it's a Pokemon game. It'll do it really great. It still does great, but the sales are dropping. In other words, the sales are dropping. And I would not be surprised if ZA is going to probably fall in this line right here with sales. I really am not. In fact, it might be even lower. And it's simply because it does not look very much like Game Freak is learning from their makes. So they will always have the top three be the first games. It's no doubt in my mind that it was a phenomenon. Like I said, Energizer freaking could have sponsored me in college by as much money I spent on them. And Duracell. It was like, if you didn't have Energizer, I'd get the Duracell. Didn't matter. Damn rabbit still wouldn't last but a day and a half. Would be playing the game for about 3-4 hours a day. Because I had that much time in between classes. So, let's see. Go and all-time. Alright, so Pokemon Go worldwide all-time. You can see Pokemon Go is dropping. Now, like I said, 5-year line. Came out in 2016, 2021, started dropping. And so it's the 5-year line with a mobile game. It's going to start losing interest completely. People are going to start being like, I don't want to play this game no more. No fun. And yeah, there is a real problem with Nintendo's facing. Like I said, with the games, Game Freak particularly, they need to either warning on this one. You hate me? Come at me. Come on. You hate me about what I'm saying here? Prove me wrong. Show me where things are on the upside for Pokemon. More than likely, you can't, because it literally is on a downside. People have the glitches in Scarlet and Violet was the death knell for Pokemon. That was literally a death knell. If a major game franchise comes out and is glitchy, which Pokemon Violet and Scarlet was, then it shows that Nintendo is more about the money than they are about the quality of their game. Which is disappointing, because that's one of the things I always gave benefit to Nintendo for, was the quality of their games. But, they, that's how they put us. That's how they put us. And this fan here, I will see how Z and A comes out. I may not buy it. And then I may not buy any of the other games. The only reason I gave these two games as a run, it's like, I'm bored. I need something to play. And these are games that can at least get me more Pokemon. But it's like, really? I'm not only dishing out $120 for the games, but I'm having to dish, if I want to get expansions, I gotta pay another $60 for the expansions, on top of having to pay a service fee to have my Pokemon. Yeah. Missing those days when I could store them all in the box on the game. Really missing those days. But yeah, that's why we create our own stuff. That's why we do our own things, do our own series. I say that as I try to draw a very awkward moment in Witchin. for the characters, for particularly for Ida. New pages of Witchin' and Demon Blade come out every Sunday on Teppa's Webtoons, DeviantArt, and for Demon Blade, also on DemonBlade.com. And when Demon Blade hits the end of issue 12, we will have Demon Blade Book 2 to go on sale on Amazon, along with Book 1, which is on sale now. You can get a copy, both digital or paperback. You can get all issues 1 through 6 in one convenient book. That's 38 pages per chapter, so it's around 240 some pages, maybe more. I could be wrong. It's a thick book. It's a thick book, but it's also a large size. So most manga comes in a size of, I think, 8 by 6 size book. Demon Blade comes in a book that is typical 8.5 by 11 size book. So, bigger book. You can read it nice and cleanly. It comes out beautiful. I've seen several copies come out now, and it's like, ooh, that looks nice. Glad I paid. I said do it this way. So yeah, Demon Blade is out available now in bookstores. Well, Amazon. You can, if you have a bookstore and you want to put it in a bookstore, yeah, contact Amazon. We'll be happy to publish the book with you. It is available for library request as well. I don't know if I want to draw this panel yet. I think I need to sketch it out more. So we'll go back to this panel of Demon Blade, ironically. It's finishing up this chapter. It's not finishing up the events of the football game. Because the football game occurs a little bit more in the next chapter, and we'll conclude and immediately go into the homecoming dance, which leads into the villain fight of the arc. So we will be seeing the villain fight of the arc officially occurring soon in the series. And if you haven't read it before, after this current arc is over, so after the whole homecoming horror game arc, there's a few chapters of silly nonsense that occurs. Afterwards, there's the Poultrygeist story, which will occur right after the story, this arc. That'll lead into the Christmas story and the New Year story, which will lead into the next the first demon arc story. The first demon arc, which also leads into Lori, and leads ultimately into the Spring Fever arc. Spring Fever arc being Spring, Mai and Ino's dad, challenging Tetra/Tetsu to a fight for possession of the Demon Blade, gaining the rights to actually hold the Demon Blade and possess it. So it's definitely going to be a interesting couple runs there. And fans that read the earlier version know that what occurs there, and when that ends, we get into territory that no one knows about but me. I know exactly what happened because it's the next story plot. All I've said before is there'll be multitudes of villains by that point. Some that you may know, like the Kyle's fan club is part of the villainry group in that series or that arc. But there are other villains like I've revealed Gavin the Ripper Randall, who will be the first Blade Master that's not Tetsu. I mean, we've kind of... it's not really a spoiler announcing his name because he was announced in Chapter 4. So, it's not like I'm revealing something, but there's another villain. A far bigger villain to come out of all that. And some not minor characters as well. Not just villains, but minor characters. And the drama will get high and the drama will get low. And there'll be a lot of comedy moments. Because Demon Blade has comedy, so does Witchin. Witchin is primarily comedy. If you want comedy, check out Witchin. If you want magic, chaos, and drama and romance with a bit of comedy, then Demon Blade's your gig. But yeah. All in all, I'm just a tired old Pokemon fan. I really am. I dreamt of the day when we hit 1,000 back in the day. And I couldn't believe that I'd be this disappointed of reaching it. I really am. I'm just disappointed more than anything in being a Pokemon fan. And I kind of need to see if something will come of the franchise that I used to love. But hey, I mean, I've felt that way with Zelda games in the past, and Zelda has turned it around at times, but not always the best. I think I'm one of the only people that really hated Skyward Sword. I felt it was just crap. Alright, that being said, we have reached the end point of the evening. I'm going to save what we got here in our pages here. And I thank you all for joining in tonight and listening to me ramble on about Pokemon. Because why bother listening to a stupid, silly YouTuber? I may have points and may not. It's right for you to make a comment below. Don't like my opinion? I always allow anybody who doesn't like my opinion to leave a comment that is, well, YouTube acceptable. Don't be going on about some things in groups that you shouldn't. But yeah, leave a comment below. Like it, dislike it, let me know. And we will be back next week with a new topic. Maybe I'll finally hit the CIA experiments that we've been needing to hit for a while. But we will be back Thursday night. Yes. We're going to have a special stream on Thursday night of Final Fantasy Rebirth. We're going to do what we were supposed to play last night because some idiot slept in because they weren't feeling well, and that idiot is now saying that they have slept in and not feeling well that day. All right. And then we will be back on Friday with Pirate Yakuza. Since we've been doing Final Fantasy Rebirth, we're going to have some Pirate Yakuza just to clear things up. I do have some other games lined up on the down low. Some interesting ones to play through. I promise we will officially do Chrono Trigger this weekend on Sunday. And Saturday we will be back with the Dining and Doodles. one that's been held off for far too long. Simply because I just kept forgetting to get to it. Alright! That being said, go out there and be the best you that you can be, as this world needs it at this point. It really does. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, and a wonderful year. Good night, everybody.
Lights go down streams and thanks for time we spent. Laughs and smiles all through night. With you, it feels just right. Signing off. Don't forget like, comment, stop. Signing off. Ring the bell and show some out. Good vibes, share the fun ride. With you, I'm filled with pride. See you next time, my friend. Our fun, it never ends. Signing off. Don't forget like, comment, stop. Signing off. Ring the bell and show some out. Good vibes, share the fun ride. With you, I'm filled with pride. See you